They came from obscure lanes. They came from far-flung towns and villages of India. They came with grit and they came with determination. But on 4th of July 2015 in Antwerp was when they started to hope for national glory and personal vindications. And that would be a first for women's hockey in India. They returned to drums and felicitations, the popping of flash guns, the TV mics thrust into their faces, the clamour for sound bites. They were the stars. They were the headlines for a game starved of glory. They were the torchbearers of team sports for women in India. This glare of cameras was not there when they started. When they play on the domestic circuit, there is hardly any audience. They don't have lucrative contracts and advertising deals. They are the unknown faces of Indian sports. Almost every player in the team struggles to earn a living to support themselves and their family.
कोई इससे ऊपर और लड़कियां क्या करेंगी? आप ये देखो, सोचो। उस टाइम तो कुछ नहीं था पता किसी चीज़ के बारे में हमारे को भी, तो बस ऐसे भी चलो बच्चे खेल लेंगे, नौकरी मिल जाएगी।
उतना रिच फैमिली नहीं है, मीडियम है, तो हम लोग खेल के आया, तो फिर हम लोग को थोड़ा इंक्रेज करके हमारे गवर्नमेंट थोड़ा पैसा देना भी चाहिए, पर हम लोग को नहीं मिलता।
Ritu Rani wasn't as keen on hockey as her elder brother, but his coach insisted that he bring Ritu to the center, and only then would he be allowed to train. He had a tough time convincing Ritu to come, little knowing the service that he would do to the sport. His own interest in playing the game gave India its captain of the women's hockey team.
सुबह ग्राउंड जाना, वहीं से हम लोग स्कूल जाना, स्कूल से फिर ग्राउंड जाना, शाम को रात को ही घर जाते थे 8 बजे, फिर जाके थके हारे रोटी खाई, सो गए, सुबह फिर उठ गए। मतलब कभी हम लोग ने ये नहीं सोचा कि हमें मतलब छुट्टी मानी है, क्योंकि अगर हम ऐसा सोचते तो शायद हम आज यहाँ पे ना होते।
Hockey stick in her hand, Rani Rampal forgets that she's a nobody. A thought drummed into her head by years of her team and her sport being ignored. Hockey is not just a game for her. It is Rani's passion. It is Rani's mission and ambition.
मुझे कुछ ऐसा करना है हॉकी में कि ताकि मेरे फादर जो हैं वो मतलब एक प्राउड फील करें कि हाँ ये मेरी बेटी है।
DSP Ritu Rani's day job is with the Haryana police, but the small front room of a ground floor dwelling is cramped with Ritu's medals and plaques. She has the Bheem Award, the topmost honor for a player in Haryana. Ritu Rani is the captain of India's hockey team and knows that the clock is ticking for a tryst with destiny.
तो हमारा यही टारगेट था कि हम लोग को ओलंपिक क्वालिफाई मतलब कैसे भी करना है इस बार, तो क्योंकि लास्ट चांस है। लास्ट टाइम हम लोग ओलंपिक्स के लिए जो हमने ओलंपिक क्वालिफाई राउंड खेला था, हम लोग फाइनल्स में हार गए थे। मेरे फर्स्ट टीम को जाना था, हम लोग सेकंड आए, तो इसी वजह से हमने यही सोचा था कि ये लास्ट चांस है, जो कि अगर आगे हमारे पास फिर 4 साल वेट करना पड़ेगा इस चीज़ से, तो 4 साल का कोई पता नहीं है किसी को भी।
It is really a fantastic moment for the all Indians because first time the Indian women's team will be qualified for the Olympics. So I can't imagine how much happy we are.
Rani is one of the youngest members in the India squad. Set to celebrate her 22nd birthday this December, Rani Rampal has been playing for both the Indian junior and senior teams. Juggling between tournaments and coaching camps, she hardly gets to be home. Rani's parents think her success was her destiny. And as parents, They only had to do their duty in nurturing her talent.
जो रही खुराक वाली बात इसकी या खर्चे वाली बातचीत, इसके 2 भाई हैं इससे बड़े, उन्होंने भी इसका बहुत साथ दिया। हम माँ बाप ने तो देने था, लेकिन उन्होंने भी बहुत साथ दिया इसका।
Rani's father is a man of modest means who survived odds to support their daughter's dream to be a hockey player. Local community members and his extended family advised Rampal against letting his daughter play the men's game, wearing short skirts and traveling all over the world. But Rampal and his wife brushed all objections aside.
ये पहुँचा देगी जी, अगर परमात्मा इसका साथ देते रहा ना, ये पहुँचा देगी। ये हिम्मत नहीं आती है, हिम्मत बुलंद बहुत ज़्यादा रख रही और हर टाइम रख रही है। इसके अंदर जिस टाइम जो मैदान के अंदर चली जाएगी ना, चाहे वो कत्ल हो जाएगी ना, नाड़ भी उतर जाएगी, तब भी ये चीज़ कहेगी भी मेरे शरीर ही चलेगा।
It was destiny that made Mohinder Singh take his daughter Savita to the Haryana government-sponsored sports nursery when she was just about 11 years old. It took a mere 2 years for Savita to graduate to the Sports Authority of India's hockey camp in Hisar.
स्टार्टिंग में थी एक तो जैसे गोलकीपर ये खेलती थी, इसकी हाइट के ऊपर, क्योंकि गोलकीपर के लिए अहम बात होती है कि वो उसकी हाइट हो। एक तो इसकी हाइट को देख के हमने इसको यहाँ पे एज ए गोलकीपर रिकमेंड किया था।
After spending days and months away from home in camps or on international tours, Savita's mother and grandmother welcome her back with open arms. Coping with arthritic pain, Savita's mother had to count on Savita helping out with the household chores. But Leelavati did not hesitate when her daughter wanted to play hockey. She let Savita go, live her dream.
नहीं आया भी बाहर गाला तो बच्चा कामयाब होगा, खेलेगी, पढ़ेगी, तो घर रखांगा तो घर का काम करेगी। तो एक खतरे पापा बतलाया भी पापा भेज दिया, मैं भेज दिया।
Whenever Rani is back in her hometown, Shahbad in Haryana, she visits this stadium. Because this is where it all began. Not just for her, but for many women hockey players of India. This has been the breeding ground for women's hockey. Running on this AstroTurf, Rani and teammate Ritu Rani dreamt of qualifying for the national team. Today they make it a point to come back. One, the captain, the other, a star goal-getter of the national team. They come back to mentor the next lot of girls clutching hockey sticks, dribbling away at the ball with dreams in their eyes.
वन्ना ने वो बॉल भगा के और गोलकीपर के ऊपर रिवर्स शॉट लिया था। उस रिवर्स शॉट का जो रिबाउंड है गोलकीपर से, वो मेरे पास आया था और जैसे ही वो रिबाउंड आया मैंने उसको इमीडिएटली क्लिक किया और वो गोल आ गया। मतलब वो मूव ही बहुत अच्छा था, लाइक एक पीछे से शुरू और आगे फिनिश हुआ। तो जैसे एक हॉकी का वो होता है ना कि हाँ ऐसे ही मूव होने चाहिए, क्लासिक होता है ना, जैसे कि हाँ एक टॉप क्लास मूव होता है, वो वैसे मूव था। मतलब
वैसे तो एक मतलब मेरे लिए एक अलग ही खुद की एक अचीवमेंट है कि जैसे एज ए कैप्टन मतलब ये होना एक एज ए मतलब प्लेयर का अलग होता है, लेकिन जैसे मैं कैप्टन और मेरी कैप्टनशिप में ये क्वालिफिकेशन हुआ, वो भी इतने साल के बाद मतलब पहली बार क्वालिफाई किया, तो एक अलग ही फीलिंग है।
As the captain, Ritu Rani is also responsible to mentor the team. On ground, she's a stickler for rules. There is no compromise, even if it is just a practice session. The captain wants nothing short of the best from her team. But off the field, the captain becomes one of the many happy girls. Having changed their uniforms for more casual wear, they become who they are. A bunch of jovial young girls who love cracking jokes, listening to music and unwinding with friends.
हम बस में ना जब ग्राउंड आते हैं तब तो गाने सुनते आते हैं।
क्या गाना सुनते हो?
कुछ भी, हिंदी पंजाबी, हम तो पंजाबी सुनते हैं, सब सिंगर के सुनते हैं।
The team is one unit, on and off the field. Practicing for hours, having lived through the highs and lows of tough competitions, such has been the bonding that they now feel the most comfortable when in each other's company.
हम लोग एक टीम होके खेले हैं अच्छे से, हम लोगों में लड़ाइयाँ बहुत कम हुई नहीं इस बार तो लड़ाई, हम लोग एक टीम की तरह खेले इसलिए हम लोग जीते हैं.
They love their families and home-cooked food, but once at camp, they are on home turf. Here, they are players who represent the country. Their aspirations, their dreams, their heartbreaks, they're all there, to be shared, to be understood by those who share the field. It erodes the definition of an individual and binds them into a team.
और जब गई तो इसने वापस मुड़ के देखा नहीं, उसके बाद में किसी ने इसको पीछे खींचने की नहीं सोची, बढ़ो आगे बढ़ो सभी.
Sports is a great leveler, and a mother and a grandmother, neither of them who can read or write, who spent their lives cooped in by the walls of domesticity, bask in the glory of Savita, the goalkeeper of the Indian women's hockey team. Savita's smile lights up their lives, and yet their only concern remains that this international level hockey player still looks so thin.
ये बार रही है नहीं, जितना दिन भिंडी की सब्जी खावा है
सुबह शाम से भिंडी नहीं, मतलब 2-3 दिन छोड़ के भिंडी खानी है.
आज तोड़ दी तो 2 दिन को लगा.
जहाँ कैंप में रहते हैं वो टूर रहते हैं ना, इतनी बड़ी बड़ी भिंडी घर में तो जैसे छोटी छोटी काट के ओनियन ज्यादा डाल के और अच्छे से बना लेते हैं, वहाँ तो इतनी लंबी मन देख के ऐसे हो जाता है कि हाँ नहीं
लगा रखी है.
If it was Rani or Ritu whose goals gave the team a lead or leveled the game for them, it was Savita's saves that secured the match for Team India. Savita knows that hockey is not an easy sport to be in. Playing at the international level, the chances of injury are very high, and the position of a goalkeeper is fraught with risks.
1 मिनट के अंदर उनको ऐसी इंजरी हुई जिसकी वजह से उनका पूरा कैरियर, मतलब कॉमनवेल्थ एशियन गेम्स ऐसे उनके हाथ से निकल गए, तो उस चीज़ को हमेशा माइंड में रहता है कि हाँ कुछ भी हो सकता है.
India have won the game here.
Hockey, the national game of India, once again stands at the cusp of history. And for the first time ever, not because of the men who wield the stick, but the women who challenge the world.
मैं जूनियर वर्ल्ड कप का मैं कैप्टन हूँ. उस टाइम में हम लोग 36 इयर्स के बाद हम लोग ने ब्रॉन्ज मेडल लिया था. उस टाइम में मैं सबसे ज़्यादा खुश हूँ.
It was also 36 years ago that the Indian women's hockey team last participated in an Olympics. For halfback Sushila Chanu and her teammates, Rio 2016 all but beckons. And this time, the Indian team would have earned their place. In 1980, the women's hockey team from India was invited to the Moscow Olympics. But that was the games that had been boycotted by the entire Western Bloc. In Moscow, the Indian girls had finished 4th, a whisker away from a medal. The past decade and a half has seen the team win a measure of success at tournaments in Asia, Africa and the Commonwealth. But world recognition still eludes this young team.
तो थोड़ा नर्वस थे, उसके बाद थोड़ा मतलब डाउन भी हुए सब लोग, गोल भी खाए हम लोगों ने, तो फिर मतलब लगा नहीं कि हो पाएंगे. जब हम लोग हॉलैंड से मैच खेल रहे थे बहुत बुरा था वो.
The technical point of view, there are some areas what we can improve, and if we then get this package together, then we are much closer to look for a podium.
She'll be keeping an eye on her.
In 2002, the Indian team won gold at the Commonwealth Games, and that inspired Bollywood to make a film. It has been 8 years since the Shah Rukh starrer Chak De India hit the theatres. But that one film probably did more to bring the women's hockey team into the national consciousness than any government initiative ever. And this film still motivates the girls as they set their sights on Rio next year.
जैसे वुमेन्स हॉकी है उसको थोड़ा उसकी वजह से भी जानने लगे. नहीं तो अभी तो क्वालिफाई हुआ तो अभी तो सभी मतलब ऐसा पूछ रहे हैं, बट उससे थोड़ा सा जानते थे. जब से चक दे इंडिया रिलीज हुआ था।
ये चक दे मूवी हमारे हॉकी प्लेयर के लिए तो बहुत अच्छा मूवी बनाया है। तो हम लोग ये मैं 10 बार तो देख चुका होगा ये मूवी।
While their last appearance at the Olympics in 1980 was by invitation, this time it will only be merit that will decide their fate. And halfback Sushila knows what is at stake here. Like all the others, she too knows that she has to be ready when the time comes. So even when she is home in Manipur, she does not let her fitness slip.
मणिपुर में आया था तब कर्फ्यू बंद ये बहुत होता है, तो मुझे हम लोग प्लेयर्स लोग के लिए बहुत तकलीफ होता है, क्योंकि हम लोग प्रैक्टिस भी जाना पड़ता है, क्योंकि फिटनेस इंडिया टीम के लिए रहने के लिए हम लोग को फिट रहना पड़ता है।
If you compare this to Australia, to Holland, they are really big and heavy, and we are pretty much the opposite. But the ratio makes the speed, and we are very good in this, so we can create lots of speed, and for our stick skills, it is brilliant.
At the national camp in Delhi, Helen Mary too does not let up on the rigorous coaching. This Arjuna Award recipient is the goalkeeping coach and knows that the path ahead is not easy. It's an uphill task to overcome the odds stacked against a team that is currently ranked 13th in the world.
We cannot go and stand this one and just plug them, but I can just tell, if they work hard, they'll play a standard game and they'll be in a place where they have to be there.
Helen Mary Innocent, to use her full name, was the goalkeeper in the team that inspired the film Chak De India. Helen was there when India won the Commonwealth Gold, followed by gold at the Afro-Asian Games and the Asia Cup. Old-timers still remember the 2 penalty strokes that Helen saved at the 2003 Afro-Asian Games tiebreaker. According to Helen, the times have changed, and the current team has better facilities than what she and her teammates had more than a decade ago.
We didn't have lots of tournaments and such lots of things like what is going on, like video you can take a small things in that. The hard work what we did only just work, but if you say talk about physio was there, but it was not up to that level that what we need, strength, coring, everything is coming from the physio itself.
Leaving nothing to chance, the Indian team has already begun training for the Olympics. In their minds, they are pretty sure that their berth is assured. They know they have to live up to the expectations, because in some ways, this women's team is more privileged than women in other team sports.
Football it'll still take time to come up, for sure, and especially women. They don't have as much as competitions and exposure trips like the female in hockey have it.
अगर हम लोग नहीं जीतेंगे तो कोई हमें पूछेगा नहीं, जैसे तुम खेलोगे नहीं तो फिर तुम्हें लोग क्यों पूछने आएंगे कि तुम हार रहे हो इसलिए पूछने आएंगे। आज हम लोगों ने क्वालिफाई किया इसलिए हमें सारे पूछ रहे हैं।
This team is also well grounded, and that can be an advantage. It knows its limitations, but it also knows that a world of opportunity will open if Indian women's hockey team makes it to the Olympics.
सपना यही कि मैं मेडल लेना ही है ओलंपिक में। अब पहले एक था कि ओलंपिक क्वालिफाई करना, एक तो हो चुका, अब दूसरा पूरा करना है।
ओलंपिक्स में मेडल लाना ये तो बहुत बड़ा ही सपना होगा, तो देखते हैं क्या होता है।
रियो ओलंपिक में मेडल लेके आए और यहाँ धूमधाम से, ये है जो इंतजार, तो देश में एक नई खुशी, नई, और उस खुशी में हम शामिल।
They may have come from obscure lanes. They may have come from far-flung corners of India. But they have come with grit, and they have the determination. This is no Bollywood film. But with intensity, they know that they are the Chak De girls of India. And they are out there to prove it.